So I asked them take the boat out. Look, man, the weather is nice. Look at this. Yeah, we got to get across that sandbar, but there's a gap right down here. If we float it light and nobody in it, I think they can push it across that sandbar. So I asked them today, man, y'all didn't work hard today on the job site. Kenneth, Jerry Sign, some of them, y'all go out with Marvin and take the boat out. So they all agreed, and they're pushing it out. I've got them a charged up battery for lights and a light fixture ready. We also have LEDs up on there also, and but they're not quite bright enough for pulling the net. Man, I tell you right now, just being honest, and you foreigners looking and family saying, oh, buy us a boat and we'll earn money. I'm gonna tell you right now, you better just to buy them fish instead of buying the boat. I'll just tell you the truth. If you don't believe me, just go ahead and do this endeavor right here, and then you're gonna think back one day and go, that son of a gun was right. I could have bought him a whole lot of fish for the expense you're gonna put ongoing into this boat. I'm telling you right now. Believe me, don't believe me, swear your case is different, but whether you'll admit it in the end or not, you'll be like, man, oh man. They'll tell you all these figures and facts. Don't believe it. Those figures would work if that boat was going all the time, but it ain't. There's too many things that stop it. Too much. Hey, Marvin, do you need to put that plug in the bottom of the boat? Yep. I seen it down there dripping water. I figured it wasn't in. I'll push it out there and it'll start taking water in. Yeah, I can see it dripping right down there. He's in there plugging it now. He's just excited to get it out, man. Marvin, he puts a lot of work and care into this boat. I really do believe, though, if Marvin had a good crew that was truly dedicated, he probably could do something good with this boat. Marvin's a really good guy. He's my second to youngest brother-in-law, and I really think a lot of him. We've had our arguments in the past, though, but we both care a lot about each other, so we swallowed our pride and made up. It should start floating any second now. I saw Joanne down the beach having her run and chase down her youngest son. He done got on the loose and heading down the beach. She's just running behind him. He is a smart little kid too. That's the one y'all call what is the lollipop king. He sees us though. He wants to be with us. He's a sweet kid. I'm gonna stop this phone a second and help them push. I'll come back. So all it needed is just my muscle. It's all it needed. It's right up here. Maybe if I don't know how you're gonna mount it, if you need screws or what. Okay, well we'll just find something here, but we better hurry. It's getting dark though. You think it's bright enough?
Yes, you have extra light also there.
Yeah. So Marvin and I are having is I put together toolboxes for them before for tools for the boat, and then they allow family and other locals to come borrow tools out of that box, and nobody returned the tools. So then his toolkit, got two of them down here for backup parts and tools. Then his toolkit's not complete with the things he needs anymore because they loaned them out, and in good faith thinking the people that borrow would return, but they didn't. So I'm gonna try this again with him. Let's see what happens. Will the tool stay or go? So I wanted to shoot Melinda there on video, but she wasn't really dressed where she wanted to be on camera. She's like, don't just throw me out there on the camera like that. Well, there they go heading out. Man, I turned my back a second. They said it'd be a little bit before they went out. Man, they were already gone. I was aiming to catch video of it taking off. But they made it out, and that's what's important. Got it zoomed in there. You can see they're already out there a ways. So we're waiting for the boat to come in right now, and we're all excited. It's been a while since the boat's been out, and mosquitoes. And when I say a while, I mean many months. I took the boat away from them before. They were not respecting it. It was being taken care of kind of carelessly, and I was displeased with the actions. So it's had a cool off period, and Marvin, he has shown a lot of effort of wanting to have this boat going again. He's put in a lot of his own personal time and work in preparing it, and shown that he really wants to try to take care of things. So the boat's not doing me no good just sitting there. And we did enjoy the fish coming in from it before. It benefited the family, and that's what it's really all about. And the locals here also, you know, if they help push the boat out and push it in, things like that, they get a little small cut, and that helps out people. You know, it's a community thing. It helps the community if these boats are going. So another thing about the fish camps out here, you know, it's kind of like fish camps. This is a fishing village that I live up in here, is that they take these boats out, and they go out far on the sea at night. They have no radios like we know. You know, there's no Marine band or UHF, VHF band radios or nothing. No walkie-talkies, nothing. A lot of times, even though they'll have a cell phone, they'll fail to bring it. We've had them to break down on the water before, and they had no phone with them. Sometimes they don't all own a phone, and that's the fisherman's life here. Most of them, they go out on these boats out far. There's no life jackets, there's no life preservers, there's no things that we know in the Western world, you know, um, things like fire extinguishers and all this stuff, and sump pumps or, belch pumps, all that. It's a manual, homemade hand pump. That's why it's called IE pump boat, and they're running that one cylinder little diesel engine. It's a direct shaft off the motor. When you start it, it goes. There's no reverse, there's no changing gears, there's no planing out. You get that boat pointed the way you're ready for it to go, and you fire it up. And you do have a rudder, but it's a pretty simple system. And these guys go out far out and run these nets, drop them, wait for fish to get caught, their gill nets, and then hand pulling these nets back in. This isn't no mechanized system with motors and big deals help them pull in the nets like big old trawling boats and all. This is a hand pull system, and like our particular boat has what they call a 20 powdo net. Now, powdo is a local term here. At some point, I'm going to do a real measurement of what that powdo equals to, but let me tell you what they mean by 20s. There's 20 segments to this net. So that's 20 nets tied together, and let me tell you, it is a long one. And then you have the depth of the net, and we have one of the deepest nets as far as the curtain wall that it makes hanging in the water, that drapes in the water from your top float line to your bottom lead line. Ours is a huge drop. So we have a pretty substantial net, and when the fishing's good, the money for these guys is good. But sometimes you go out and you don't hardly catch nothing. I mean, you catch just enough maybe to divide up to give the crew on board a share, But so usually it's the boat owner gets a share, the captain gets a little bit more of a share than the rest of the crew does, and then we set aside a cutoff of that goes for maintenance on the boat. So you've got a percentage off of the catch and what it sells for boat maintenance. We have our share. The captain gets a larger sum than the rest of the crew, and then the crew gets their pay according to how things are sold, and they get a little bit of cut of fish every time they go out to help feed their families. So that's how it works. Usually on these fish off this net, there will be local buyers right here in our community that will come. I mean, even late at night, if they know these boats are coming in, they will get up out of bed or come on out and try to buy fish so they have fish to eat the next day. And there's not as many boats here as there used to be. So we're gonna see what happens. I think there's only like 3 of us running boats now. Ours hadn't been out, so really there's only been like maybe two or 3 boats, and it used to be as many as 20-30 boats lined up right here in just one little spot. And I mean in one little spot. So we'll see. The waters kind of have had a little bit of a break. We're gonna see. It's all what we call a crapshoot. You drop that net out there, and you hope you picked a good spot. You hope you picked a good direction that the fish are passing, and it's all a matter if the fish happen to pass through where you have that net at. And then you can get out there and you can get into a shipping lane. There are huge ships that pass through here, all kinds, from container ships to tankers to just all different ones, including ferries and all as well. And if you get in one of those lanes and you can't get that net out of the way, you might have just lost the net to a big old prop. And anyway, they have markers on there. They have flags, and they on those they will put a flasher on it, and it's supposed to let even those big boats know that there's a net down there. But the better things for these guys to know where those shipping channels are and to keep the net out of those shipping channels. So you have to watch out for that. We've also got into the situation that there are some not good spirited, good other fishermen out there that resort to very low tactics and have cut the floats on the end of the net where you're marking each end of your net where you know to go back and start pulling, to come through there and cut them and sink your net. And we have got lucky before and drug an anchor and recovered a net, but we've also lost a net, and that's a sick feeling. We lost the net, and we believe it got recovered down the way from here, but being that most of these nets all look the same and all the materials come from one supplier up here in the city, and everything, that it's hard to say, oh no, that was my net. I mean, what are you gonna do? Put a tag on it? They'll just cut the tag off, you know. So I mean, you gotta watch it. I told them, you know, you're gonna have to stay out and tend that net. They had a practice before. They would go drop the net, come in, and then go back out the next day and run it again. Well, when they left that net unattended, that's when mischief happened. So just giving you a little education about fishing life here, and with these nets, and maybe you might have learned something.
Umur kan bisa nutup na boy ko ako. Di wala gato. Abre patas wala mo masag batik isda eh.
Apa? Berapa? Itu ya.
Corona.
Dah.
Yan wala kan gato.
Ini be. Oh.
Atuan gid. Grabe ba kung sa may banwa ka wala ka tiyaman, may aman ka ba? Kasi bagay may aman din ibakon mo.
Tidur na.
Sus. Isa gan.
160. 160.
Ayun na, hindi ang gabuti-gabuti doon, doon.
Ah.
Hindi buti-gabuti na.
Tama yung man.
Hindi ganun. Kung buti-gabuti na gamay na. Aloy din ba?
Ano yung parte mo? Porto, maganda. Pagkusin mo yan? Maganda? Di ka ano pa?
You want more for that or